Indian Pueblo Culture Center in New Mexico. Representation versus exhibition. A presentation by Donna Tenorio from the Santo Domingo Pueblo, Giwa. The Indian Pueblo Culture Center is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, founded by the 19 Pueblos in 1976, and consists of a rich display of indigenous Pueblo culture, traditions, history, and existence. The Culture Center houses a library with archives and detailed information of the Pueblo tribes, a restaurant serving traditional dishes and local foods, a circular plaza for traditional dancing that is displayed throughout the year, arts and craft markets selling of indigenous Pueblo people selling their traditional jewelry, pottery, and other items is also open to the public. A museum highlighting the importance of Pueblo people, which will be the highlight of this presentation. The 19 Pueblos of New Mexico, from the north to the south and then to the west. Starting from the top is Taos Pueblo, Picaris Pueblo, Okeowinge, formerly known as San Juan Pueblo, Powaki Pueblo, Santa Clara Pueblo, Nambe, Tesuque, San Ildefonso Pueblo, Cochiti Pueblo, Santo Domingo Pueblo, San Felipe Pueblo, Santa Ana Pueblo, Zia Pueblo, Jemez Pueblo, Sandia Pueblo, Isleta Pueblo, Laguna Pueblo, Acoma Pueblo, and Zuni Pueblo. Each pueblo is its own separate tribal nation with their own sovereignty issues, and the center is a place that was created to strengthen the partnership of all the pueblos to discuss concerns that impact all pueblo nations. The entryway into the museum of the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center begins with a beautiful display and recognition of the importance of birds to the Pueblo people. The birds mentioned are eagles, hummingbirds, turkeys, and parrots, which are most prevalent in the dances and regalia of Pueblo people. This is relating to our studies of the Golden Eagle Act of 1940 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973 and the Migratory Bird Act of 1918, as well as the National Eagle Repository. These birds and their feathers are used by Pueblo people, which we celebrate through honoring them through artistic drawings on potteries, murals, and other media. A creation story is shared by video and murals of how the Pueblo people came into this world. They came by the guidance of a great spirit and emerged into this world we are in now. They rely on a circular seasonal calendar of planting, harvesting, dances, and ceremonies. The journey of different pueblos relating back to places known now as Mesa Verde, Chaco Canyon, Bandelier, and the Puye Cliffs. The photo of the women grinding corn is a vivid display of Pueblo culture belief in communicating with the ancestors and spirits to help with continued Pueblo existence. Next, we come to the Pueblo people's sense of belonging. It is based on an individual, family, and community existence all tied together. When a Pueblo person is born, they are already born into a family, a Pueblo community, and a clan. This type of communal existence is taught to a Pueblo person as they grow. They learn their responsibility to all families, the community, and all living things as well as the land. Storytelling is one of the ways Pueblo people teach, learn, and grow. From birth to death, the stories strengthen the continued existence of Pueblo ways and, and traditional life. The spoken words of the Pueblos of New Mexico. The Indian Pueblo Culture Center Museum does a fine job in the display of the different languages and the different Pueblos that speak these languages. This display has a map of all the Pueblos highlighted on a big screen, and a touchscreen monitor is where you can touch an emblem of a Pueblo tribe, and there is a recording from a tribal member speaking in their Pueblo language with a greeting, along with another screen that you can touch an emblem of some of the Pueblos that share songs or storytelling in their traditional languages. There are 5 different languages spoken by the 19 Pueblos. The Zuni language, of course, is spoken by the Zuni Pueblo people. The Toa language is spoken by Jemez Pueblo. Tiwa language is spoken by Taos, Picaris, Sandia, and Isleta Pueblos. The Tewa language is spoken by Okeawinge, Santa Clara Pueblo, Powake, Nambe, San Ildefonso, and Tasuki Pueblos. The Keres language is spoken by Cochiti, Santo Domingo, San Felipe, Zia, Santa Ana, Laguna, and Acoma Pueblos. Although some Pueblos speak the same language, their language has different dialects and sounds that can be very distinct if you are a Pueblo speaking person. After learning about the different languages Pueblo people speak, this display is in regards to the endangerment of Pueblo languages or traditional languages of the Pueblo people. It discusses how it was endangered after the boarding school era and the disconnect between the people and their cultures and their languages, which brings us to the statement of them using language preservation tools afforded by the Native American Language Act of 1990 and the Esther Martinez Native American Language Preservation Act of 2006. Many Pueblos have made it a priority to develop programs and insert them in certain schools to teach the language to their young people. The museum displays a desk, a sweater, and a board of writing from the Albuquerque Indian School. The Indian boarding school was founded in 1881. New Mexico had different boarding schools that impacted different tribal nations. The Pueblo nations were impacted by Albuquerque Indian School, Santa Fe Indian School, and St. Catherine's Indian School. Santa Fe Indian School was founded in 1890, and St. Catherine's Indian School was founded in 1887. St. Catherine's Indian School was also a Catholic religion boarding school with both assimilation and conversion initiatives. The Santa Fe Indian School is the only school from these mentioned that is still in operation today. It is still a dorm and a day student, and the institution is owned and operated by the 19 Pueblos of New Mexico. It is known as a tribally controlled school, which is different than a private, public, or bureau-operated school. It has a lot of autonomy to teach students culture, traditions, and languages of the Pueblo people. a fight between traditional religion and forced religion. This mural, Religious Friction, talks about the friction between the religion of the Spanish invasions and the conversion of religious belief. But it also is how traditional language also shifted and is intertwined in some words and usage of the Spanish or Mexican dialect. The video is a representation of the Catholic religion patron saints that were given to each pueblo, in which the pueblos are named after. Each pueblo, for example, the Pueblo of Santo Domingo's patron saint is Saint Dominic, and a huge feast day with traditional dancers, vendors of all kinds, and some carnival events come to celebrate the feast day of Saint Dominic on August 4th of every year. All the Pueblo household members create a feast and feed all visitors, native and non-native, and families and friends all visit for that day. Every Pueblo has its own feast day and is scheduled on an annual day throughout the year. These are just examples of the assimilation and the continued existence of both traditions and religions. The Pueblo Revolt of 1680 is one of the Pueblo's most historic successful accomplishments. It was fighting for freedom of culture and traditions against the Spanish conquistadors. All Pueblo leaders gathered secretly to organize an uprising, which took the Spanish by surprise, and the Spanish retreated out of the Pueblos, which left the Pueblos free from their control for about 12 years. This was a huge triumph for the Pueblo people, and they hold this date dear to their hearts. The runner's mural is a portrait to celebrate the communicators of the Pueblo Revolt. Runners from the northern Pueblos ran to the south and west Pueblos to communicate when the revolt was to take place. Although it was planned for August 11th, it commenced on August 10th, 1680. The day is now known as Indigenous Peoples Day in New Mexico. The mural, Return of Colonization and Strength to Overcome, discusses the reconquest of Spain, Spanish, and the United States. The Pueblos were given more autonomy to continue practicing their traditional ways with the Spanish Inquisition and cession to the United States. With the persistence and perseverance of Pueblo people, strength and resilience to overcome all these invasions and challenges as they still practice culture and traditional ceremonies and speak their languages as much as they can today. Preserving rights and Pueblo sovereignty. The preservation of Pueblo rights and Pueblo sovereignty has come before the cession of the Pueblo lands to the United States government. Although the government still imposes harmful policies upon all tribal nations, the struggle for existence is still fought today. with aspects relating to the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993. The Pueblos still abide and fight for their rights to remain vigilant for a continued existence and protection of their traditional ways of life. Pueblo people and their resources all come from land for uses of agriculture, to clays for potters, gems and stones for jewelers. Each pueblo is known for their own unique products and artistic designs. One of the biggest resources is its people and the leaders that arise from the pueblo populations. Most pueblo traditionally choose or appoint their leaders, which are governors and officers, to serve usually a one-year term for leading their people. When they are appointed, they are given three kings representing the three nations of Spanish Mexico, the U.S., and the Pueblo Nation. These are passed down in a traditional ceremony to each newly appointed or chosen governor. To Pueblo people, water is precious. Water is life. Many of the pueblos are located along the Rio Grande River, and the protection and the fight for water is true to our arid land and environment. One of the biggest fights for water was for the Taos Blue Lake. It was finally returned to Taos Pueblo in 1970. This Native American water right fight will be probably discussed in future classes of Native American water rights. The respect and protection of ancestral lands. All lands are considered sacred to Pueblo people. In protection of ancestral lands, there are two cases discussed. The fight for the Sandia Mountains by the Sandia Pueblo people that was finally regained in 2014. Also in 2014, the Supreme Court of New Mexico gave Mount Taylor back to the Pueblos of Laguna, Acoma, and Zuni, as they are sacred sites to those Pueblos. The economy of Pueblo people revolved around a communal farming way of life. Most Pueblos still hold those economies to this day. Although the histories of the invasion of the lands tried to destroy that way of life and diminish the ability to gain, Pueblos still operate successful farming cultures today. Pueblo people also gained the understanding that they can exist with the tourism and gaming initiatives created in the 20th century. There are 11 pueblos that have casinos, recreational resorts for tourism, and arts and crafts sales. These businesses provide ways to continue servicing for higher education programs and elder programs and also language programs that include culture teachings as well. Last but certainly not least is the well-being of Pueblo people. They fall under the medical dangers of obesity, diabetes, and cancer. Health and wellness is a big priority in Pueblo communities, along with growth and healing from the historic traumatic events of our existence. Pueblo people push to maintain a balance of both physical and spiritual health. To continue existence, Pueblo people need to take care of their most precious We have come to the end of the museum exhibits with these murals on the wall of continuance and until we meet again. Most Pueblo languages do not have a word for goodbye. So until we meet again, until we talk again, until we learn again, I thank you for your attention. Nitra. That is thank you in the Pueblo language, Karis from Santo Domingo.